Reed Timmer from Genesee, Colorado, right in the foothills. And it looks like yet another day of severe weather potential and the potential for flash flooding across the Colorado Front Range, foothills up into southeast Wyoming through the end of the week. It looks like tomorrow could be the most significant severe weather day, but today the coverage will be a bit more isolated. But once again, there will be a threat for flash floods and even mudslides out here. I'm thinking about focusing on the mudslides today and then the tornado threat tomorrow. That's going to be heading into the Nebraska Panhandle. Looks like the threat for supercells, very large hail, and even a few tornadoes is possible in the Nebraska Panhandle, with those storms first initiating in southeast Wyoming and then moving east into that deeper moisture. And it looks like today, too, there could be isolated storms in those burn scar areas. Down to the south, there's the Waldo fire burn scar. That includes the Fountain Creek area. Yesterday, there was another debris flow that went down Fountain Creek, impacting Manitou Springs once again, especially Woodland Creek a little bit further upstream. Thankfully, it looks like the radar overestimated rainfall totals a little bit there yesterday in that Fountain Creek headwater source region area. But I'll likely be targeting that region again today. It looks like, unfortunately, there is another threat for mudslides and flash floods in the Manitou Springs area. So I'll just be heading down there and setting up shop and waiting for that storm to develop along the burn scar. It does seem that these storms more easily fire along the burn scars, and that's probably because those charred mountains, those charred areas of the burn scar heat up more quickly than the surrounding terrain, so that storm initiates over the burn scar, and that's a recipe for disaster because once it starts dropping that heavy rain, there's no vegetation, the strata very easily flows down, and you get those massive debris flows that go into the adjacent washes and the creeks. So I'll be targeting Fountain Creek once again today. Manitou Springs is basically like the Ellicott City, Maryland of the high plains out here. Very storm surge prone area. Those houses and businesses along Fountain Creek so often get flooded. Blue skies. Heating day is commencing, and eventually you'll start to see the cumulus field form over the higher terrain, and then they'll mature into heavy rain producing storms that could lead to flash flooding. So my plan is to maybe play around a golf first and then shift into chase mode. And I'll be watching southeast Wyoming down to the Denver area for those storms moving east. And they will have the threat of producing damaging straight line winds and even some large hail, but especially the threat today will be that flash flooding. And then, as I mentioned, tomorrow, the chance for tornadoes ramps up in the Nebraska Panhandle. So I'll be focusing more on the tornado side of things rather than those flash floods. And we'll probably be chasing through the weekend as monsoon season continues. I do expect it to eventually, the thunderstorm action to shift a little bit more southwest to those more traditional areas impacted by monsoon season, like Arizona, New Mexico, southern Utah, southwest Colorado once again next week. And looks like the threat for heavy rain is also going to flooding for AccuWeather.